A little background about me. I've been auditing. I've been in the audit field for about 25 years. I'm a CPA, came through public accounting, KPMG in Deloitte. And then I've worked in the the government sector, Department of Labor, Inspector General, and then our sister city across the way, San Francisco. I've also been in corporate America too. I've been an auditor for Safeway. So I've had, because I believe audit is a very important and critical resource to any organization, particularly to local government. This is the oversight role. This is how we make sure not only that tax refunds are paid promptly, but that monies are collected as they should, they're spent as where they should, and programs are effective. Children are actually educated within the programs that we have, or that 911 calls are actually answered as they should. So that's the kind of thing that kind of gets me really jazzed up, because I'm an auditor. That's kind of what I like to do. And I'm thinking that my auditors in the group here will probably also say the same. In the last 4 years, we've audited Public Works, OPD, Police Department, Fire Department, particularly the area in our hills here, any of those who have been through the firestorm or understand firestorm. Making sure that our homes are safe with regards to fuel loads is pretty important. We've audited libraries, revenue, payroll. You saw the business tax. What areas am I missing? Oh, and then we've done measures as well. When I came into office in 2015, the city auditor is required to audit certain measures. You might see those, particularly this year, on your ballot. There are certain measures that will result in a parcel tax to you if you're a property tax, if you're a property owner. Some of the provisos says you agree to, you vote in this parcel tax, and the auditor, the city auditor, will audit that. But when I came into office, I found that many of those measures had not been audited in years. This is contrary to what both our voters required and what our taxpayers want to see. They want to see that the money is, that is a money thing, the money is being collected and spent appropriately. So in the last 3+ years, I brought all of those measures up current. I'm really glad we did that, because we found $2 million in the Kids First program that the city had not funded. So that is something the taxpayers had required us to do. The city had not done that. As soon as we brought it to their attention, they said, you bet, and they put it into their mid-cycle budget. That's the role of the city auditor, is an oversight, both over the city to make sure things are working right, and as assurance to you, residents, taxpayers, property owners, to make sure that our city is working like it should. Those are the areas that we have audited. Going forward, we are finishing up on OPD overtime. Our police department regularly overspends its overtime budget. And so we want to look at that to see how do they put their budget together, why they're overspending it, and some of the details around, make some recommendations to how we can make sure that they are using the city's money wisely. Workforce development is another concern. We bring in monies from the feds and the state to provide special job training program for certain members of our community. Those who are most difficult to hire, either incarcerated, had not finished high school. Those are ones that have special needs around getting them into the workforce. It's really important. Monitoring those monies and making sure that programs are effective is something that we're looking at. Going forward, looking at, again, some of the measures. I'm sure you're familiar with Measure KK. That's what we call in the auditing group. This is the infrastructure bond that was voted in 2016. $600 million to fix our roads, our buildings, our city departments, Parks and Rec, and libraries. That was in 16. They put a first tranche in 17. So I want my office to come in and look to see, again, are we collecting the money? Are we putting them into place? Are we really repairing and correcting the roads? Or are we just putting a little bit of sand in something and making sure it goes away? We want to be sure that's effective. Blight and illegal dumping is another area that we're hearing a lot about, and homeless. And I was talking earlier about the homeless. What I'd really like to see is, where is the money coming from for homeless? How much do we really spend? I don't think any of us, including me, I don't think we really know how much within our city borders we spend on homeless. And is it going in the right places, and is it making a difference? I think the public really needs to know this is our plan, from the city's plan, to address the homeless issue, and this is what we need to get it there, and this is our timetable to move forward to make those milestones. I haven't seen anything like that, and I think that the public demands that, and rightly so. We don't want to see our neighbors on the street, in cars, children having to go to school from homeless areas. This is wrong. But what are we actually, our program's actually working towards a solution on that. Other areas have to do with another finance, which is our retirement debt. Many years ago, the city leaders put in a plan to pay our retired employees certain amounts of money, and now we're way behind the 8 ball as far as making sure we're going to meet those obligations. So what I'd like to ask the question to city administrator is, what is your plan to make sure that we're meeting those promises that were made, and how are you going to do that? That's a fair question for me to ask, because I'm sure the rest of the city wants to know that as well. And then in doing so, how is that going to be put together, and how will that impact our budget going forward? So, yes, ma'am.
I have kind of a general question.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to know from you how you feel you're different from the opponent that you're running against.
Thank you. So I am unapologetically, I've been an auditor for 25 years. I've been in all kinds of audit shops. I am not a gotcha auditor. That means that I don't come in and take the department and figuratively slam them for the wrong things that they're doing and do a shame and blame. I actually work with the department, and our auditors here will probably reinforce what I'm saying. By the time we have finished an audit, both the department and all of their employees know our findings. We have really good, skilled auditors, so our work is accurate and correct. They can't be disputed. They have a chance to respond and review it, but by the time we finish and we've implemented, we publish the report, many of those recommendations are actually put into place, and there is very little, if any, disagreement with our findings. My predecessor worked on another way. She would put forth a report, and then we provide a response after. It created a lot of conflict between the city and the city auditor, and that created a lot of time wasted around getting the changes needed to be done, so that we're correcting areas that are weak or need more strengthening. So in effect, I would say the difference is I'm a very effective auditor. I'm not a gotcha auditor. I work collaboratively with the city, but I have a backbone to stand up to say it's wrong and it's still wrong. And from that, I actually get changes made. And so those improvements and differences mean that our city is getting stronger and stronger all the time. We're putting in better controls, and they're seeing it. And the employees are agreeing to that, so they're wanting to bring the changes in as well. When you get buy-in, you get action.